right, guys, warm-up time. We're still adding, subtracting, multiplying complex numbers inside of our packet. We're dealing with page 3, number 7. Page 3, number 8. What happens when you take a binomial or a complex number and you square it? And what happens if you have what's called a complex conjugate? What happens to the imaginary numbers to each of those? So when I take a quantity and I'm squaring it, it's the same thing as saying -7 plus I and writing it out twice. It is not -7 squared, I squared. That is not what you're doing. So here I've got a binomial, so I'm going to go ahead and do a big box. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in exactly what it is that I'm working with. So -7, I, -7, I, that gives me 49, -7i, -7i, and this gives me I squared. The next thing I have is I've got to combine my like terms. So I have -7i combines together. That's going to give me -14i. It's going to be part of my final answer. Then I have the second set of like terms. The second set of like terms is going to be 49. And then whatever I squared comes out to becoming, I squared comes out to -1. So 49 minus 1 is going to give me 48. So my final answer as a complex number is going to be 48 minus 14i. So here we have to make sure we combine our terms together, and what we're left with is writing this over again as a complex number. The second question, we have the same numbers. The difference is the signs. And what happens to those complex numbers, what happens to the i's when we do a question that looks like this? So again, using our box method, we should have a 2 by 2 box with room to write. So here I've got 3, 5i. You can put the plus 5i here, or you can take this one and put it down here. It doesn't matter. It's still going to end up being the same answer. So we got 3 minus 5i. Here we have 9. Here we have 15i. Here we have -15i. And then here we have -25i squared. We're going to take our like terms here, 15 and -15i. They're going to end up canceling, giving you 0i as a placeholder, not necessary to write inside your equation. But what we have, it's actually an expression. So what we have here is 9. We have -25i squared, which is -25 times -1, which is +25. So we're going to take these two right here. We're going to combine them together, and that's going to give me 34. You do not have to write 0i because 0 would get rid of it, and so you're only left with a solid answer. You use complex conjugates if you were dividing complex numbers to get rid of a radical that's on the bottom of a fraction. It's called rationalizing, but that's something that we're not doing for this class. That takes care of your warm-up. We're looking at what happens if you square a binomial, and what happens if you have a conjugate, what happens to those variables, or what happens to those complex numbers.